What is your zone of genius? How do you even find your zone of genius? What is that about? I hear it all the time from all different types of people. How do I find my zone of genius? What is even our zone of genius? Today, my talk is about how to find your zone of genius and use it to be able to get through your business and start line. So, our very first question, we're going to go through four major questions on how to find our zone of genius. The first question: what do you do that you love to do? What is the thing that you love to do most in your life? And it's really interesting to talk about that because we all have different aspects of what we love to do. What gives you that warm fuzzy feeling in your chest that you can use to possibly even start a business? The next question is, what work do you do that doesn't really feel like work? We all do something that we think is work, but to us in our hearts, it's not really work. It's fun. It's something we love to do, and we can do it forever and not even get paid and not care about getting paid because we love to do it so much. The third question is, in my work, what produces the highest ratio of abundance and satisfaction to the time spent? We spend a certain amount of time in our in the thing that we love to do so much, but it doesn't really feel like time has passed at all. We could be working so hard and into our work, and to us, it only feels like 10 or 15 minutes has passed, but an hour has passed, but we produced so much and we loved doing it so much that it doesn't feel like any time has passed at all. And the fourth question is, what is our unique, priceless gift that we carry within ourselves? Everybody has a superpower. Everybody has something different about themselves that everybody can see that makes you a fantastic individual. Now, the combination of these four things are going to help us find our zone of genius. So we're going to go through these one by one and see if we can uncover your zone of genius. If you want to write these down and want to look back at these, it might take some time to do. But if we answer these four questions, we will be able to find our zone of genius. What do you do? What do you most love to do? I know that it's really interesting for me because this was a really hard question for me because I like to do a lot of different things. But I can't necessarily say I love to do this. I've had many different experiences in my life where I could say I was able to do this. I love my pot. I can't say that I loved all these other jobs that I've had, but there's only one thing I could say that I loved to do. If you could define that, define what you actually love to do, you can actually say, I love to do this. Then that's your first step in finding your zone of genius. The second thing, what work do we do that doesn't feel like work? I come across this a lot, and you even hear people say this is it's not work, it's play. It's not something that we really think about when it comes to work. It's something more along the lines of, I love to do this so much, it's almost like play. Let's take that and use that as inspiration for ourselves in our businesses and what we do. So it doesn't feel like work. This really helps us so we don't burn out because it's something we can do for a really long time and love it the whole time that we're doing it. So the next question, in my work, what produces the highest ratio of abundance and satisfaction to the time spent? The first part of that, abundance, we have to be able to find abundance for ourselves. Everybody's vision of abundance is going to be different. So it's really important for you to understand what your definition of abundance is going to be. And we have to equalize that with the satisfaction, abundance and satisfaction. We have to be satisfied with the work that we're going to be doing. It's all about putting together these two particular things, abundance and satisfaction. Also, the fourth question: what is our unique, priceless gift that we carry within you? What is your superpower? What is the thing that you can do that everybody knows you for? What is the unique gift that you have in yourself that sets you apart from everybody else that's out there right now? Now, what I'm going to do here is give you my experiences and how I found my zone of genius in each of those questions. So I had a lot of jobs in my lifetime. I had a lot of things that I've done. I've done pallet making. I've done all different types of odd jobs, but I never really could say that I love to do blank until I came across being able to podcast. When I would started podcasting, it was a little bit rough to find at first, but once I really started out, I realized that was something I loved to do. I loved being able to talk to people, understand their journeys, and maybe even help them out in their own journey. And it was just amazing to me to be able to do that. And it didn't really feel like work, even though it took time, it took effort, it took a learning curve. Even though it seemed like work to other people from the outside in, to me, in my heart, I knew it wasn't work. It was something I loved to do so much. I don't care if I got paid or not. As long as I had the ability to be able to help somebody else out in my zone of genius that I found. And I think that's probably one of the most fantastic things for me when I first got started, was realizing that I was going to be able to help other people with my zone of genius. The abundance for me, now I'm going to define my own abundance. Abundance for me was the satisfaction of being able to help other people and know that I would made a difference in somebody else's life. Abundance for me was being able to reach out to people all across the world and connect with them and understand their situations and help them start their businesses or help them get over the hurdle they need to get over to be able to continue on with their entrepreneur adventure. And it was satisfying to me because it gave me that warm, fuzzy feeling. We all need to have that warm, fuzzy feeling when we help other people. It's just the thing that really sticks out the most for me. I hope it does for you too. And the unique gift for me was being able to talk and to be able to listen and to be able to understand people, and then use the information I get from them to be able to reach into my head and find out what I could do to help these other people in their entrepreneur adventure and to get them started across the start line. Our zone of genius is the one thing we really need to get out and find for ourselves. Because with this zone of genius, we're able to make a difference in other people's lives. Starting with your zone of genius will help you avoid burnout. It will help you move along and in your entrepreneur adventure and understand where you're going at that particular time. Your zone of genius is amazing and will keep you going as long as you know what it is and what it is. So that's why it's super important to be able to find your zone of genius and use it to help other people. So when you do find your zone of genius, it's important to say, okay, now that I know what my zone of genius is, how can I use this zone of genius to help others? And when you actually are able to accomplish that, it's the most amazing feeling that you have in the world. We always have to be able to understand that our zone of genius is the thing that keeps us moving. It keeps our goals focused so we know where we're going, and we're always working in our zone of genius. Now, there will be times where a situation will come in and it looks good. Man, this is amazing. How did I come across this amazing situation? But you have to ask yourself, is this in my zone of genius? Is this something that I can do that stays within the realm of my zone of genius? And then you have to make that decision. Is this in my zone of genius, or is this not in my zone of genius? If it's in your zone of genius, do it. It's important to be able to know what your zone of genius so you can delegate and understand the differences between let's do this thing that's in my zone of genius and this thing that's really not in my zone of genius. So let's either not do it and say no, or delegate it out to somebody else who this situation is in their zone of genius. Stay out of the places that are not in your zone of genius. There are four different things, areas of the zone of genius, four different zones that we think about. Our zone of incompetence, our zone of competence, our zone of excellence, and our zone of genius. The zone of incompetence, definitely we want to stay away from that one completely if you can. This is something we are just not good at. This is definitely one of the things you want to delegate out to somebody else. Our zone of competence, I'm okay at it. I can get by, but it's not really where I want to be. Some of us get caught in that just to get by. It's not fun. It's really not. So kind of stay away from that one too. Now here's where it gets interesting. Your zone of excellence. This is something you are good at, something you understand, something you realize that you can do very well. But it's really not something you could do forever. It's not something that will keep you moving, will keep you going forward. You just know you're good at it. You have to understand your zone of excellence and your zone of genius. There's a very, very fine line between those two things. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish between the two because you really feel good about being able to do something that you're excellent at. Even sounds awesome. I'm excellent at this. But it's not your zone of genius. It doesn't click. It doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't change that time frame that you have for yourself. The time where it feels like only 10 minutes has passed, but it's been an hour, which you've been able to produce so much. Doesn't quite do that. But your zone of genius does. Your zone of genius will have that flow for you. You will feel that flow in your zone of genius. It's kind of like when you hear about a sports figure say, I was in the flow. That's exactly what they're talking about. Because more times than not, they're actually in their zone of genius. And they call that flow, or they call that the zone. So remember the four questions. What do you most love to do? What work do you do that doesn't feel like work? In my work, what produces the highest ratio of abundance and satisfaction to the time spent? And what is your unique, priceless gift you carry within yourself? We all can do this. If you find your zone of genius, and I know you will, you'll be able to conquer so much more and understand so much more around you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for this opportunity for me being able to talk to you today, and we'll see you on the other side.